All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Minority Mavericks. This is Angel Leon, your host. And this is the show where we tell the story of all minority entrepreneurs, founders, and investors of this world. And in today's show, I have the pleasure and the honor to have Dr. Tye and Courtney Caldwell, and they are the founders of ShearShare. And ShearShare is a very cool and very innovative type of solution that's helping a lot of small businesses out there, and gig workers as well. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Angel. This is great. We're always excited to share insights and talk to good people.
Thank you so much for being on the show, taking the time, not just to speak with me, but to our listeners. And let's
Yes.
just get started with the basics. Introduce yourselves, share a bit about your backgrounds, where you're coming from, and then if you want to end up maybe that into introducing your inspiration, right, to co-found ShearShare.
Awesome. Okay, Dr. Ty here, Dr. Ty Caldwell, one of the co-founders of ShearShare. I guess it would be fair to say that I am the visionary of ShearShare.
Definitely.
My background is in beauty and barbering. I have my doctorate in beauty and barbering. I've been in this industry for almost 30 years. I've been an award-winning salon owner for over 2 decades. So, one of the things I like to share is that the passion I have for the industry. Um, one of the things I will say, I was a celebrity stylist when that word and term wasn't befitting. I never really looked at myself like that, but my clientele was just that. And also wrote a best-selling book called Mentor by Failure. And I sit on the PBA board, first African American elect, which we really work with a lot of the professionals, a lot of the salon and barbershop owners, to make sure that we keep this industry clean. We work with a lot of legislators and lobbyists to
Mhm.
make sure that when things like COVID happen, that we get everything back on track, and we make sure that we deem us essential, because we were deemed inessential during the COVID um,
Pandemic.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And we work with
Right.
a lot of the products that keep you guys safe and clean, and also we make sure that our customers are well taken care of. So when you think about my background, I am deeply entrenched in beauty and barbering. The likes of it, the foundation of what we started ShearShare was based on a lot of the information, a lot of the skill set and ideas that we pioneered building ShearShare with. So I'm very excited to always share insights about how we've done this, why we started, and we were just trying to really solve our own problem. So ShearShare got started from that point.
Very
Yeah,
cool. Very
and he clearly, right, is the subject matter expert when it comes to all things beauty and barbering. I was working in corporate America, did that for about 25 years in B2B tech marketing. When my husband said, "Hey, you know what? This thing that we've been doing manually, like the manual matching of stylists to empty salon space, just to kind of be helpful to people who call us, it's starting to
Mhm.
feel a little bit like a full-time job. So go look for the app that does what we do, so the next time somebody calls, we can kind of push them in the right direction." And when we went online to search for whatever it is we were doing, we could not find that mobile app. And so that was literally the aha moment for us. But prior to ShearShare, I was working at organizations like Oracle, Right Now Technologies, Zendesk, Zenefits, Qualtrics, and the like. Making sure that sales teams, sales enablement teams, and marketing teams were leading the charge when it comes to demand generation. And really thought I was going to retire from corporate America until my husband said 8 words that completely changed our lives, which was, "I think this needs to be an app." And then here's ShearShare. And today, ShearShare is known as the hair B&B, if you will, of the industry. We take empty salon space and an empty space in barbershops and spas, and allow the salon owner to monetize that excess capacity by filling it with a licensed beauty and barbering professional. The professional, the nail tech, the barber, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the massage therapist, the braider, the lash tech, the microblading artist, they use ShearShare to find and rent flexible, affordable space to work when and where they need it, starting at $15 a day. On the ShearShare app, we'll never ask you. Yeah, thank you. On the ShearShare app, we'll never ask you to sign a long-term booth rental contract, and we'll never ask you to share in your commission proceeds. Like literally, you can pay $20 to rent out a salon suite for the day, see 10 clients, make $2,000, $5,000 a day, and all of that money is yours. And so this is our way of giving back to an industry that's fed our family for 30 years. And we are bullish about being able to help our ShearShare community, whether you're the salon owner, barbershop owner, or the independent stylist, be able to make more money and keep more money.
Very interesting. And is there a way for them through the app to basically have access to for people to see these opportunities? Like, for example, if I'm the one renting the chair, can someone see that I actually have a rented chair so that I can go to that salon?
Yeah,
Oh,
literally, you
very
would
cool.
download the app, and the app is free for anyone listening. The app is free to download on both the App Store and Google Play. You would type in the first question that it asks you once you sign up is, where do you want to work? And so there you can put in the city name, or you can put in a zip code, and then you hit filter, and you can sort by 1,000,001 different points. You can sort by amenities. So maybe you need wheelchair accessibility for some of your clients, or you want free Wi-Fi, or you want access to free parking, whatever it is that you need for that day. You can sort by the day of the week. Now, instead of mostly working Tuesdays through Saturdays and many salons and barbershops being closed Sundays and Mondays, that's kind of like our weekend. Now you have an opportunity to see your clients anywhere. You can sort by price. You can say, just show me everything that's under $30 a day. You can say, show me everyone who has a weekly discount or a monthly discount if I book additional days back to back. And then that filter will then show you all the hosts that are in your area in whatever city that you typed in. And you can see pictures, you can see some video clips of these hosts. You get to know a little bit about the host and their bio. You get to see all the ratings and reviews of other ShearShare stylists who have used that host. And you get to see a map of where they're located so that you can get as close to the location that you need to be for your clientele. And you get to the end, you put in your debit card or credit card information, and you literally book space to work like you book a hotel room.
And I would like to also too just
Beautiful.
kind of make it easy and simplify for our listeners is that we are a B2B marketplace. And most of the time people think that, okay, well, how can I reach my customer? When I say B2B, we're a business to business. So just to kind of distinguish for our users who don't understand tech talk, B2B is business to business. What does that mean for ShearShare? It means that the salon owner and the licensed professional are both businesses. Now, the licensed professional is looking for empty space in a salon, barbershop, or spa, and salon, barbershop, or spa has an empty space for that licensed professional to utilize or rent for the day or for a lengthy period of time. So I want to make sure I share that because most of the time you think about apps, and we won't share those apps names because you think about the licensed professionals getting connected to their customer. That is a B2C platform.
Like an appointment.
Yeah, like an appointment setting app, calendar setting app. And so just for our listeners, just to kind of give them a visionary of what it is and the distinction, we are a B2B platform. So we're making sure that the licensed professional who is the micro business can connect with the business of an umbrella that they need to rent, that real estate, that chair, that suite. So just kind of wanted to kind of give that for just an ideal thought for the listeners.
Yeah, no, definitely. Very, very interesting. And, I love the idea. I can't describe it any other way. Like you said, her Airbnb, I can, think of any way to describe it better than that. It's exactly what it is. And it's a great opportunity, for a lot of workers out there, that gig workers, for example, as well, right? It helps with that gig economy. So yeah, and it's this is all, of course, a very powerful tool and a very powerful solution, and overall just a mini economy basically that you're building around this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it came with a lot of different challenges, and of course part of this show is to talk about diversity, inclusion, right? So, what were these challenges as minority founders that you face, and how did you navigate through them?
That's a great question. I think that for us, it's always been making sure that we were intentional about what we built, and trying to solve that problem for ourselves. Especially manually for around 3 years. We never even thought of ourselves as doing something like we're doing right now with ShearShare, because we were just feeling like we was helping our fellow. I was feeling like I was. With my wife's help, we was helping our fellow licensed professionals and filling empty space, and then allowing them to go different locations without signing that long-term contract or signing that long-term lease, because we know that that is the highest area where they have to spend their most money is signing a long-term contract and not being able to stay there if something happens or they aren't building their clientele fast enough. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing that. But I think, just to kind of answer your question, we bootstrapped, when we decided that, we had been doing this for 3 years and there was nothing out there that even resembled, what we're building. We wanted to say, okay, well, is this something that we want to do? Those famous words that I shared, that Courtney shared with you. Um, and when you think about bootstrapping, you're utilizing your own funds, your own capital. So
Right.
that meant, going into our savings, our checking, and then, doing the ultimate by emptying our 401k, which was our retirement fund. So we went all in. But I think too, we had to think about it from an aspect of, how can we continue doing this, especially going through a third party engineering firm where we're just literally just it was a hole in the ground type of scenario where money is just going away because we're building everything on a sprint type of thing and not having employees, the engineers, to do this. So when we realized that there was people out there like angel investors, venture capitalists that could help us, build this and be on this journey with us, that's one of the things that we took in consideration with a friend of ours that we met, in Silicon Valley when Courtney was working at Oracle. But I think the hardest thing for people of color when it comes to DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is just getting capital to build your startup and to
Mhm.
make sure that you're on that journey with the right people. So, that's been one of the hardest things, and making sure that as you're building this, that they see the vision and they see the opportunity to scale and to build something amazing and it not just be a hobby.
Definitely, and that this is a very clear thing right now, right? In all industries, really, not just in the tech industry itself, but in all industries, there's this issue, right, with diversity and inclusion, and just in general access to funding, access to resources, sometimes even access to people, right, that
Hmm. Hmm.
that don't want to necessarily take the risk, so they just don't want to meet, and we have to break those barriers somehow, right? And people like you, it's proof, right, that it is possible that we can break those barriers, and there's no reason why you can't build, right, your own wealth, um, because you come from a different background, or you have a different skin color, or whatever the case it is, right? And I'm sure that so far, you guys, I see you guys everywhere, on TV, on the news, and articles, etc. And so
Yeah.
I'm sure that ShearShare is definitely having a positive impact, right, in the industry. But how do you see the platform contributing to diversity and inclusion within your sector?
Yeah. I think especially for like beauty and barbering, I don't think many people realize this, but beauty and barbering is actually the second largest industry for freelancers and independent contractors. And we're expected to grow at a higher rate than your medical doctors, your attorneys, your accountants. And I'm not surprised by that, right? Because if you ask someone, how often do you see your doctor, your OB, your pastor, your dentist, your accountant, and then how often do you see your barber or your nail tech or your makeup artist? We see those folks more often than we see the prior grouping. And so our industry is one that it literally touches everyone from the princess to the pauper, right? And so I don't see that changing anytime. And it was important for us to be able to not only elevate this industry, because it is one that we feel is the best industry in the world, and one that has grown our family and fed our family for so many years. We have so much respect and love for the beauty and barbering industry, where if we were going to be helpful and leave a legacy, this is exactly what it was, or what it is, that we wanted to do. Micro enterprises, I think, from a macro level, like you think about any industry, like a lot of people are choosing to, like you mentioned, enter the gig economy, or a lot of people are choosing to have like a side hustle,
Mhm.
or do a couple of different things, right? Just because they have various passions. But where do you go, especially when you think about beauty and barbering? Where do you go for all the tools that you need if you're going
Right.
to be your own small business of one? Like, there's not one place, So we started ShearShare because, yes, it was our own problem to solve, right? We had issue in our salon. And then learning that 40% of salon and barbershop space goes unused every single day, not just in the state of Texas or California or New York, but everywhere. And so we started with the space as a service and giving people access to the biggest item on their balance sheet every single month, which is workspace. And then we took it a step further and said, gosh, we also need liability insurance, but every insurance agency out here is only going to sell an annual policy. Why not make it so that you can purchase a daily insurance policy? And so now, with our partnership with Lloyd's of London, stylists pay $5 a day and get up to $1 million in liability insurance coverage just for the days that they actually work. And then we went further and said, well, if we have issues and challenges with getting access to capital, how can we get more money, whether it be a microloan or $250,000, into the hands of people who need it, who are going to use that money to better their business, better their families, or whatever? And so then we partnered with MasterCard to do embedded lending. And so there are so many different tools, and the list goes on, right? We even have healthcare on the
Right.
platform that you pay for monthly. But there's so many different tools that you don't think about, because you think, oh, okay, this job, and I'm going to use myself as an example because I really did have the golden handcuffs when I was in corporate America. My job at Oracle, which I loved very much, but I came on day one when they hired me, and they presented everything to me. Like, I didn't have to ask about, where do I go to get health insurance?
Right.
Where do I go to get accidental death and dismemberment? I didn't have to ask anything. They presented everything to me. And so, in a way, corporate America makes it super easy for you to be comfortable and for you to stay, because they do everything
Right.
for you. They think, 2 steps ahead of you. But when you are thinking about going out on your own or entering the gig economy, there's a lot of research that you're going to have to do, and a lot of trial and tribulation. And so we want to be able to remove all of those hurdles for you and say, look, if you're really thinking about doing this thing on your own, not a problem. We got you covered. So all of the non-sexy business tools that you're going to need to be successful, thinking about retirement, getting health insurance for your family, the professional liability insurance, getting your space to work, getting access to microloans, ShearShare has you covered. You should come to our platform because, one, you trust us, because we obviously understand and know better your day-to-day challenges, but also we want to be able to give you access to these tools that we already know you're going to need to be successful, but on a pay-as-you-go basis. And so it just makes
Right.
sense for us to support the industry in that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's very powerful that you guys were able to basically, again, create a mini economy around this. And not only that, but just unveil a problem that hundreds of thousands of other people out there have, that
Yeah,
right it was never brought up like that. And it's
yeah.
and a lot of people have these kind of thoughts as well on a daily
Hmm.
basis, right?
Hmm.
People that try to want to start their own businesses, or they just simply have an issue, right? And what they don't think sometimes is that there's probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people out there that probably have the exact same issue that you have. So why not try to solve it, right? It's not you're solving it for yourself, but that's how you're building, right, your base, and that's how you're building your structure to then be able to, right, help everyone else, right? It's kind of like that concept of you have to be healthy and happy with yourself in order to help others. So it
Exactly.
that's the that's what I take really about you guys' story. It's just how you guys were able to convert that into a real into a real issue that got expressed out there into, this solution, right? That now hundreds of people and thousands of people, sorry, have access to, right? And they can, again,
Yeah.
make business, which is incredible. That's just giving access to that alone, right? It definitely helps not just the economy itself, but it helps a lot of underrepresented people and underestimated people as
That's
well.
right. But you know what? I think back to like the very beginning, and I think the hardest thing, at least for me, I'm not gonna speak for my husband, but the hardest thing for me was saying, "Yeah, we should do this." Like, 'cause think about all the different great ideas that people think about every single day. I remember sitting on my sofa one evening and I saw a late night commercial for the Snuggie. And I looked down and I'm literally wearing my robe backwards. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had the idea for Snuggie, but just didn't think like, oh no, no one's going to buy that. Or how do you even go about manufacturing it? There's so many brilliant ideas that live in all of our minds every single day that we just kill off without even thinking about moving them into action. And so I think it's so important to have that support system, or like in my case, I have my husband co-founder who was like, yeah, I mean, he's been an entrepreneur for 30 years. He's literally the most unemployable person that I know. And so whenever we have an idea, he's going to be the first one to support me and go, yeah, let's try it, without even asking questions. We don't have to measure twice, cut once. We're like, nope, grab my hand and let's jump.
Let's do
And
it.
I really appreciate that about him, because we could have killed our own dream just thinking about like, oh, well, we're not technical co-founders. We don't know how to code. Where do you go get a CTO? How do you build a mobile app? How much money is this going to cost? Like, there was some beauty in all the ignorance that we did not know. But no matter what, we bet on ourselves. Or like, if anyone's going to solve this particular problem, if anyone's going to love the challenges and still get up every day and fight tooth and nail for this industry, it's going to be us. And I think that no matter what was the first thing we needed to jump off that bridge or that mountain and grow our wings on the way down.
That's awesome. And thanks again, both of you, for taking the time to be here on the show. I love what you guys are doing. I love what you guys are building. I love your story as well. It's, full of passion and determination.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, coming from, of course, a minority background as well. Just seeing these stories it's eye opening for me, and it's just, it's hope, right? That there's a lot of other, again, underrepresented and underestimated people out there that sometimes don't even know how to get started.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't even know that, there are groups and people out there that are willing to help, because we're all trying to change this in all the industries out there. So,
Yeah.
but before we wrap up though, would you like to share, a little bit about any future plans for ShearShare, or at a personal level, anything that you have kind of planned out for the future?
When you think about everything that we've built thus far, I think we were very ahead of schedule when we started building ShearShare.
Yeah, definitely.
We were definitely,
Right.
sitting like a surfer and waiting for the wave to really take off and lift us. And so everything that we've built thus far I would say, is in conjunction with where the industry is going. And it's also in place where we can scale. This has been one of the things where we've had to really trust our slow growth and trust that what we were building, the industry was going to need. We knew that the space as a service was going to be that need. But we come from an industry where it's been very antiquated, been very manual. A lot of the professionals, probably up to 70%, still use pen and paper. So what we're doing is we're adding a tech layer to it, and it takes time to build what we're building. So the trust factor, the service factor, the customer service factor was very important to us. You can give people something, but they have to trust the people that are building it, and they need to have a safe place to land when there are problems, issues, and also questions. But I think where we're going with it is making sure that we create a platform that gives them an opportunity to create wealth. And it's not an individual thing. It's not an employee mindset. It's more of a business mindset for professionals to realize that they can grow, they matter. And when we utilize things like liability insurance, health insurance, is because we want to make sure that where they land is as a safe space and a soft place. Because we don't have, as an individual micro business, we don't have the opportunities to build that trust with banks because they see the risk
Right.
factors, able to get that insurance that they need because it's so expensive and it's not a corporate plan. Able to think about, selling products because your name is just ABC, and you just can't go into a Walmart or a Walgreens or even a Sally's or a Ulta Beauty Supply. We want to make sure that they know that they can have a safe place and a safe space to be able to push their product, get the things that they need in order to continue to build their book of business, and also continue to grow their business as an entrepreneur. But there's so many things that we want to do, but we want to make sure that we're killing it and making sure that that real estate is being maintained in salons and barbershops, and make sure that they stay open, and also give licensed professionals, whether you're graduating from school or whether you that 20-year vet, that you have somewhere that you can come and continue to build your business, and make sure that you can build the culture, the ambiance, and the professional atmosphere through an app like ShearShare.
Very cool, and I'm sure that the way it looks, you guys are already killing it. So many blessings to you guys and everything you guys do from now on. Future of ShearShare personally to you guys as well. Many blessings and
Thank
good
you.
luck with everything. And thank you for being on the show again.
Yeah,
No,
thanks so
thank
much
you.
for letting us tell our story. Hopefully, it
Thank
inspires many.
Definitely, I'm sure it will. So everyone, this was an amazing story, right? Of a lot of passion, determination, resiliency, and more than anything else, innovation, right? This is a good example of minority innovation, minority minds in play here. And like Courtney said, right? I'm hoping that everyone here that's listening, right, gets inspired by this story as well. There's something out there for everyone, right? Money is not necessarily something that someone needs. It's a tool, and that
Mhm.
tool, we all should have access to that. So let's go all out there and get our share of that, right?
Right. That's
Um,
right.
thank you so much. And again, this was Minority Mavericks, and this is Angel Leon, your host, and this is the show where we tell the story of all minority entrepreneurs, founders, and investors of this world. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.